A happy Friday. It is May 23rd, 2025, and this is the NCWLIFE Evening News. Grant Olson is away tonight, getting an early start on his Memorial Day weekend. I'm Jefferson Robbins. These are a few of the stories we have coming up for you heading into the three-day weekend. He's already running for East Wenatchee City Council, but one unopposed candidate could find himself serving in the city government long before the November election. We'll explain why. You may not recognize the famously steep and winding McNeil Canyon Road. Once Douglas County gets through with it, that route is getting a $4 million facelift starting next month. The unofficial start of summer also appears to be the more or less official start of summer weather in the Wenatchee Valley and beyond. Dan Koontz will be pulling double duty later on in this half hour, bringing you the weekend weather as well as your sports roundup. First, our top story tonight. A California fugitive arrested in an East Wenatchee traffic stop back in January has pleaded guilty to multiple weapons charges. 39-year-old Dalen James Isaacs entered a plea Thursday in Douglas County Court to 3 counts of unlawful firearm possession for 3 .22 caliber revolvers found in his vehicle. Isaacs was wanted on a probation violation warrant from Santa Barbara County when East Wenatchee police stopped his pickup truck on January 6th. A drug-detecting dog allegedly smelled narcotics that were later recovered from the truck, including more than 100 fentanyl pills and 52 grams of methamphetamine. Isaac's plea on Thursday did not include multiple drug possession charges that were initially filed by prosecutors. Instead, he faces a recommended sentence of 4 years in prison on the firearm charges when he next appears before a judge on June 5th. Among his prior offenses in 2020, Isaacs was arrested in his hometown of Lompoc, California, for allegedly trying to sell a stolen guitar signed by rock musician Tom Petty. 45-year-old Gabriela Abundiz of Yakima was sentenced to 15 years in prison on Tuesday in the U.S. District Court in Yakima for drug trafficking while she was on supervised release from a previous conviction in Montana. According to a release from the Office of Acting U.S. Attorney Richard R. Barker, officers with the Omak Police Department suspected Abundiz of distributing narcotics and spotted her entering an apartment in April 2024. After gaining a search warrant, they arrested Abundiz and located 2 backpacks full of various drugs, including methamphetamine and over 2,000 fentanyl pills. Upon her arrest, Abundiz was also in possession of 2 cell phones containing photos of large sums of cash and fentanyl pills, as well as text conversations regarding illegal drugs. A current candidate for the East Wenatchee City Council is being considered to replace a council member who recently departed. Our media partner, the Wenatchee World, reports on Tuesday the council suggested Itor Castellente, who's running unopposed for the Position 3 council seat, should be appointed to fill Position 3, which is vacant after the resignation of Rob Tidd earlier this month. Castellente is a former fire chief and a Douglas County Fire Commissioner. If appointed, he would serve as Position 3 council member through the end of the year, when one of the 2 candidates running for the seat begins their full 4-year term. Castellente would then switch to the Position 4 council seat for his full term. The City Council voted unanimously to suspend council rules concerning their application process. They could appoint Castellente as soon as their next meeting on June 3rd. The North Central Educational Service District has an opening on its board of directors. The seat is open after the resignation of Richard Johnson, the former superintendent of the Okanagan School District, who's been on the ESD board since 2021. The position represents Brewster, Cooley Dam, Nispelem, Okanagan, Omak, Oroville, and Tonasket school districts. Eligible candidates need to reside within the boundaries of those districts and cannot be a school district employee, a school board member, or serving on the State Board of Education. Anyone interested in filing for the candidacy should contact NCESD Superintendent Dr. Michelle Price by Friday, June 13th. When we come back, Moses Lake is even wetter than usual now that an eye-catching civic fountain has been put back in place, and state officials and those who rely on health care in Washington are sounding the alarm about Medicaid cuts now making their way through the Republican-held Congress. We'll tell you more about that coming up. Stay with us.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you, the relatives, friends, and neighbors, helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanagan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Construction on the McNeil Canyon Road Realignment project is scheduled to begin on June 2nd. The $4.2 million project is jointly funded by Douglas County and the County Road Administration Board. It entails rerouting a section of the road to lengthen sight distances, install guardrails, and more. Once construction begins, crews will alternate one-way traffic on the road, which has been the site of some nasty truck rollovers in recent years. Travelers should expect delays until construction is completed sometime in November. A Moses Lake landmark is back in place in the body of water that gives the town its name. The city's Parks and Recreation Department this week reinstalled the decorative fountain in the middle of Moses Lake. Crews had to remove the fountain last November after it fell into disrepair. The $30,000 replacement was supported by volunteer labor and donated materials from local businesses. The reinstallation of the upgraded fountain took place on Wednesday. A $1 million grant from the National Science Foundation will help researchers at Washington State University develop a community-centric plan for wildfire-related power outages. Such outages in the United States are happening more often and for longer periods of time due to aging infrastructure and climate change. In Washington, new laws require public utility districts to review and revise their wildfire mitigation plans every 3 years. WSU says planning and efficiency is traditionally left to power companies, so researchers plan to develop an advanced wildfire simulator to help them understand wildfire impacts on humans and on the power grid. Well, as lawmakers in Washington, D.C. push ahead on cuts to Medicaid, leaders here at home are sounding the alarm about the harm it could do for health care across the state. From the Olympia News Bureau, Murrow News fellow Albert James was in Seattle yesterday, where state leaders and Medicaid beneficiaries say the harm would go far beyond those who receive care through the program.
Our state will change in fundamental ways if this goes forward.
Governor Ferguson says 2 million Washingtonians are on Medicaid, but 200,000 of them could be kicked off by the end of next year if the cuts from congressional Republicans go into law. Federal funds make up over 60% of state Medicaid spending, and even with budget reserves, Washington doesn't have enough to backfill any large losses in funding.
If there is a fundamental change in Medicaid funding to the states, our rainy day reserve fund is not going to be a safeguard that protects individuals here in Washington state.
Staff with Seattle's Harborview Medical Center say reducing Medicaid eligibility ultimately affects all people, as those patients will end up in already overwhelmed emergency rooms.
Cutting Medicaid doesn't reduce the need for health care. It just shifts the costs, creating more illness, more disability, and more unnecessary suffering.
With hospitals all across the state already closing their doors because of financial trouble, Harborview leaders say accessing care will get harder for everyone.
If a rural hospital closes in eastern Washington, where I grew up, it's not going to impact just individuals who receive Medicaid. It impacts every member of the community. The entire hospital closes, the entire clinic closes.
Medicaid allows my son and so many other children and youth to live, be supported, and thrive in their communities.
Jen Chong-Jewel says she felt the need to share her story and wants others to do the same so people can understand how Medicaid works, especially as there's misconceptions about how challenging it is to access.
When you hear that there's these things happening, quote unquote, waste, fraud, or abuse, be curious about what that actually means and what those words mean. Because these are human lives. We're more than just a data point or a number. We're human beings.
As the cuts move on to the U.S. Senate for their consideration, Governor Ferguson hopes the stories about the harm they would cause will make senators think twice about moving forward in what he calls a draconian way. In Seattle, I'm Albert James reporting.
Coming up next in our regular feature story, Derek Sheffield is Washington State's newest poet laureate. We were there when he was inaugurated back on April 30th, and we've got some programming coming ahead to tell you about. Temperatures in the mid-80s expected this Memorial Day weekend. Dan Kuntz will pretend he knows what he's talking about when he brings you the weather details coming up in your full local weather forecast. And in NCWLIFE Sports, we'll have a look at a future All-Star who just signed an agreement to play for Team Grandstrom. You'll see what I mean. Please stay with us.
At Abby's, Toppings to the Edge is a promise we've kept for 60 years and counting. We load our pizzas with fresh ingredients, quality meats, and real cheese, so every bite is legendary. If you can find a better pizza, buy it. Abby's, you just can't top it. Right now, every day is Taco Tuesday at Abby's. Our Taco Especial is on sale 7 days a week. This giant pizza serves up to 6 people and is at a very special price. Order at abbys.com. Give us a call or just drop by. We're family-owned Abby's, a legendary pizza tradition.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories. And we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
It's the Click It RV Moses Lake pre-Memorial Day sales event with huge manufacturer's discounts from Forest River, StarCraft, and more. Get 0 down financing and no payment for 90 days. And get top dollar for your trade. And as our way of saying thank you, active military and veterans get a $500 parts and service card. And talk about giveaways. Win a StarCraft trailer or $30,000 in cash. And get a 65-inch TV with every purchase. Nobody beats a Click It RV deal. We guarantee it. Don't miss the Click It RV Moses Lake pre-Memorial Day sales event, May 18th through the 30th.
Welcome back. On April 30th, Derek Sheffield of Leavenworth was inducted as Washington's Poet Laureate. The Wenatchee Valley College professor is the 8th poet to hold that title, appointed by the state's governor. NCWLIFE was there as he accepted his new role at WVC's Grove Recital Hall with a little help from his students. On Monday, in place of the evening news, we'll be bringing you our coverage of the passing of the laurel at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. on Memorial Day. Here's a preview of what you'll see.
So this is called All of It, Zoe. For weeks, we had watched the meadow beyond our windows, its archipelago of puzzle pieces rising through the snow. We wrote our names on the calendar, playing our game. Which day will be its last? That was the day you reached up to take my hand and lead me by little steps out the door, down the drive, zigzagging off through brush. When we came into the light of the full sun, a mound as tall as you, we stopped. Its surface was everywhere moving and not going anywhere. An expression of living pointillism. It looked back at us, breathlessly, with all the excitement of your life. You said, "Daddy, we're in the whole world." Squeezing my hand, I looked away from the ants, the swarming shadow of some numinous thing. Your gold, unbrushed hair glowed in the sun. A pink barrette pinned your bangs to the side. cold air on my skin, bristle of pine needles, trickle of meltwater under blue sky. All of it. And all of you and me. Yes. Yes, we are.
Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you get a 3-day weekend. If you do have a 3-day weekend, you're going to like what Mother Nature has in store for you. Dan Coons filling in for Grant Olson. There is our weather. I got to wear glasses. I can't quite make that out. Hold tight just a minute. Oh, much better. The Wenatchee Valley, which is looking good as usual here on this Friday. Lovely stretch of weather. We finally got above our normal afternoon high, which we haven't done for about 8 days in a row. We did it pretty good today, 76. Our normal high is now 74. Of course, as we get deeper and deeper into spring, our normal afternoon high goes a little bit warmer and a little bit warmer, and it's going to be a lot warmer than that come the weekend. And these long days are great, especially look at the sunset. 8:41. I'm liking that. And for the first time this year, we've gone over an inch behind where we should be for our annual rainfall from January 1st. Not good. We're in a drought. No rain at all in the forecast, maybe on Sunday night. So let's get a little more details for tomorrow. I think I wore out the 8 and the 0 on my keyboard. 80 in Omak, 80 in Aniat, 80 in Wenatchee, 80 in Quincy, 80 in Ephrata, 80 out in the basin, slightly cooler in Leavenworth and Lake Wenatchee. They are apt to have slightly cooler temperatures, but everybody is going to be bathed in gooey good sunshine right through the latter part of next week. And for the first time, I think we can safely say Sunday is going to be hot. We have a big ridge of high pressure that's building up, and it's going to start building up even more and move right on in. You see that up there in Alaska? That's eventually going to pay us a visit towards the end of the holiday weekend. Until then, lots of sunshine today, a high of 76, and you're going to start seeing some brown spots showing up right over north central Washington. That's going to talk about the heat. This big dome of high pressure is going to intensify, it's going to amplify, it's going to move over the top of us, which is why we're going to go from 76 today to about 80 on Saturday. Very mild overnight low on Saturday night, which means we're going to be bumping up to close to 90 for the Wenatchee Valley. Borderline hot. You folks out in the basin, you could get to 90 degrees, maybe even warmer than that. Sunday, again, very nice, very warm day. However, on Sunday night, we could see a little bitty pop-up thunderstorm, especially if you're going to be camping in the mountains, in the upper elevations. It's a possibility. When you have a sudden warm-up, the atmosphere gets a little unstable, and you could see a pop-up thunderstorm or even a raindrop into early Monday, and then we go right back to sunshine. A little cooler on Monday. Tuesday, very comfortable, lots of sunshine, about 82 degrees. Little breeze at times on Tuesday, Wednesday, and even going on into Thursday for that matter. But we're going to have very pleasant, warm, nice weather as we're almost done with May. So again, we're looking for a significant warm up, a little bit cooler on Memorial Day Monday proper, and then we warm back up again, as you can see, possibly 90 degrees on Wednesday of next week. And May is almost done. Thursday, up there, 86 or so. So get ready for some pretty warm temperatures. Friendly reminder, you're going to be drawn to the water. It's going to be a little on the cool side. All right, one more time. Here you go, folks. Enjoy. 76, our unofficial high today. 51 for the overnight low tonight. We're going to bump it up to about 80 on Saturday. Sunday, all day, lots of sunshine until very, very late in the day. We're talking 8:30 on Sunday night is when we could see some clouds and some light rain. It'll dissipate overnight. A few clouds Monday morning, right back to the sunshine by about 10 a.m. on Memorial Day proper. It looks beautiful, and then we warm right back up again to 90 degrees by next Wednesday as we start thinking about June and summertime. I'm going to put on my contacts and come back and do sports. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
The pitch by Busich. Swung on a miss. Wenatchee Apple Sox baseball is back on the NCWLIFE channel. Watch as they take on the Yakima Valley Pippins Friday, May 30th. Coverage brought to you by our Platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Abby's Pizza, Apple Valley Honda, Biosports Physical Therapy, Coldwell Banker Cascade Real Estate, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, and Highlander Golf Course and Grill. Your exclusive television home for Apple Sox baseball is the NCWLIFE channel.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCWLIFE. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
The pitch by Busich. Shot on a miss.
The Wenatchee Apple Sox are back on the NCWLIFE channel. Watch as they take on the Yakima Valley Pippins Friday, May 30th. Coverage is brought to you in part by Kennedy Real Estate Group, Les Schwab, Sangster Motors, Save Mart, Tacos Chava, Together for Youth, and Valley Tractor. Your exclusive television home for Apple Sox baseball, NCWLIFE channel, your local TV station.
You may wonder where Eric Grandstrom is. He has a very good excuse for taking today off. He's a grandfather. There he is, little Arthur, who entered the world in the usual way by being born today. Congratulations to Eric. And around here, when you have your very first grandchild, you get the day off. After the second grandchild, you don't. So the kid is named Arthur. They were not going to name the kid Jose Altuve, who continues to own the Seattle Mariners. He did it again last night. Couple of home runs from the Astros shortstop. He drove in 4, as a matter of fact. Houston, no real problems with Seattle last night. The final was 9-2. George Kirby made his debut. One of the aces for the Mariners. Didn't go too well for George. He gave up, he just 5 runs on 6 hits. It wasn't the best outing for George, but it was his first time taking the mound since last September. And we didn't have Julio Rodriguez last night. He was a late scratch.
2-2. Cracked out to the gap in left center field. Touches down, base hit. Crawford around third base. He scores standing. Rowdy Tellez with 2 outs in the first inning gets the Mariners on the board early. It's 1-0.
I feel like you're seeing this from Rowdy Tellez, hitting the ball up the middle into left field, especially as he gets deeper in the count. It's a changeup down and away. Doesn't try to do a whole lot with it. Stays through it, and there's run number 1 for the Mariners.
Dylan Moore rockets this out towards center field. Blasted back, and it bangs off the wall for a home run. Dylan Moore just knocked a brick out here in Houston. His 8th homer this year, and it's a 2-0 lead.
Got out quick, jumping on that first pitch of the at-bat. We've been seeing the Mariners doing some damage, some extra slugs, some home runs on 0-0 counts all of a sudden.
What a shot.
On the ground at third, bobbled there, out at second, but safe at first. Isaac Paredes is able to beat it out. Cam Smith scores, and the Astros are on the board. It's 2-1 Seattle. 0-2. Hit to right. This should tie it. Astroboni is over. Dubon will tag and come home, and we've got a 2-2 game. That one hit to the right side, and that's through. Jake Myers around third. Throw to the plate. He'll score standing up. More 2-out hitting and more damage from the bottom of the order is Mauricio Dubon. Puts the Astros on top 3-2. Out of the top of the order in Jeremy Pena. And Pena hits this one deep, and that's off the wall. Jeremy Pena into second base. He'll round second, heads for third. Dubon scores. He's in with his 500th career hit. It's a triple, an RBI triple, and the Astros lead it. They score again as Cam Smith and Mauricio Dubon come around to score to make it 5-2. Deep fly ball to right field. This time Jose cranking this one to left, and that one is out of here. Jose Altuve, his first home run since April 28th, and the Astros lead it 6-2.
Can't even imagine how good that feels for Jose Altuve, and he laid into this one. 403-foot line drive.
Snaps a homerless streak at 77 at-bats. Here's Altuve, led off the 5th inning, his 5th home run of the season. That's here with 2 outs.
Oh, yeah.
Did he do it again? You better believe it. Jose Altuve, a 2 and the Astros lead 8-2.
He's got 2 home runs today, 2 home runs in the month of May. Altuve finding it.
We all knew it was a matter of time. The time might be now. Walker takes off on the 3-2 pitch, and this one hits the left side, and that's down for an RBI single. Astros lead 9-2. Victor Caratini with his 3rd hit of the night. And the Astros. That is 14 Astro strikeouts. This one to right field, into the gap, and run down by Cam Smith. What a night all the way around for the Astros. Pitching, hitting, and defense as Cam Smith comes up with the catch. Jose Altuve, a 2-home run game, and the Astros win the opener of this 4-game series to move to within 2.5 games of the Seattle Mariners in the American League West.
The series continues tonight. Emerson Hancock faces the Astros' Ryan Gusto. First pitch right now. It's on Root Sports, but don't change the channel. We need the ratings. To the standings we go with Houston's victory over Seattle. Their lead over the Astros is now 2.5 games. 4 solid games over Texas and the Angels. My Yankees beat Texas 1-0. The Angels doubled up on the Athletics last night. The final was 10-5. It's championship weekend for high school girls fast pitch softball. There is your schedule. I'll let you know right now. Moses Lake lost in only 5 innings. They were 10-run. So Moses Lake lost to Issaquah earlier in the day. They're taking on Tahoma this afternoon in the losers bracket. Last night, Cashmere's season came to an end. They lost to Rochester. The final was 8-1. They got going at 11 o'clock this morning, Eastmont and North Creek. If Eastmont wins, they move on to the quarterfinals. The 2A tournament at 11 a.m. this morning. Ephrata took on Olympic. We'll have the finals on these on Facebook, by the way, later on today. And also today at 12 noon, Tenaska took on Raymond out of South Bend, and Lake Roosevelt took on Freeman. Prep baseball, all the games are tomorrow, which makes things easy for us. And we'll start out with the 16 seed Moses Lake taking on undefeated Puyallup tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Cashmere is the number 6 seed. They'll take on number 11 Christian in the 1A tournament. That's tomorrow at 10 a.m. Also tomorrow at 10 a.m., the Chelan Goats, the number 9 seed, will take on the number 8 seed Bellevue Christian at 10 a.m. The number 7 seed in the 2B tournament is Libertyville. They'll take on Napavine, the number 10 seed, at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And also at 10 o'clock tomorrow, it is Okanagan and Asotin. Okanagan, the number 13 seed. The Wenatchee Panther boys soccer team is in the state quarterfinals. They'll take on Tahoma tonight. Tahoma, the number 1 seed. Wenatchee, the number 8 seed. If Wenatchee wins, it's on to the state semifinals. And in the 1A tournament, Cascade and Raymond out of South Bend, they'll do battle at 7 o'clock tonight. The Wenatchee Bighorns, just 2 more games left in the regular season. They're in Great Falls to take on their rivals, the Great Falls Electric. They'll play tonight at 6 o'clock, then again tomorrow at 6 o'clock. And then next Tuesday, we will have it for you. The first playoff game for the Wenatchee Bighorns. They host the Seattle Superhawks. Pregame at 6:45. Tip-off at 7 o'clock. If you can't make it to the W.B. Smith Gymnasium, we'll have it for you right here on the NCWLIFE channel. Have a good Memorial Day weekend.
And that will do it for our Friday newscast. For more news from around North Central Washington throughout your Memorial Day weekend, you can find us at ncwlife.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife or call 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. I'm Jefferson Robbins, and as your news boss, I'm telling you right now, don't come to work on Monday. We'll see you next week.
What once was old now is new to the NCWLIFE channel. Tune in for Bonanza, Superman, The Andy Griffith Show, The Beverly Hillbillies, The Invisible Man, The Lone Ranger, and The Lucy Show. Check your program guide for classic programming on NCWLIFE channel, your local TV station.